morning. It's almost 9 o'clock and I'm on my way to Zwolle in the Netherlands. Today will be my first ever Pro Elite road race. I'm excited and I have no idea what's gonna happen today. The weather forecast is extreme. It's super cold, it's -5 degrees, easterly winds, very strong easterly winds, and it's a long race, 180 kilometers today. I'm gonna be racing for the Volharding, which is my club, my team in the Netherlands. For you guys, don't get confused, I'm racing for two different clubs, SDBC United States, Volharding in the Netherlands. So this year is going to be more about the road races and less about the criterions. Today is going to be the Craft Ster van Zwolle, which is the first race out of the top competition, which is the highest level of competition here in the Netherlands. Alright, changing to my racing gear. I met up with the team because this is the first race I'm racing in the elite team. So a lot of these guys are new for me. I'm gonna go to the car, get my bike, drive to the team car. We'll have a short meeting and then we're gonna go to the start. It's super cold, but it's sunny. So it looks like a nice day. But it's actually gonna be a pretty rough day, I think. This race is well known for its harsh conditions and it's probably gonna break up sooner or later during the race. So I hope to stay with our group and not to get dropped too hard. The wheels can't be the problem. Installed them yesterday. Wish me luck. There's 7 continental teams today, so they're all right here with big vans, all the same bikes, a lot of sponsors. We just have our own bike. We are a club team and we're going to be riding in between those pro teams. So let's see how it goes. About 45 minutes to the start of the race. Number 108.
Later.
Vorig jaar zijn er in de opvoer. Vorig jaar pakte je de middentrui hier in deze wedstrijd.
We just signed our presence list. Now we're gonna go inside, warm, and wait for the start because it's too cold to stay outside.
En die waren allemaal apen trots op. Die stonden hier de weergoden gewoon te trotseren. Helemaal goed. En niet alleen de jeugd, maar we hebben ook topvrouwen.
Several bad puns later.
Alright, just finished the race. What? I finished the race. That's awesome. The actual goal of today was to finish. I think we started with like, I don't know, almost 200 riders and maybe 50 or 60 finished. It was really cold. There were a lot of moments where everything went boom on the side, crosswind, echelons were forming. I got dropped out of the front group a couple times, had to pull back to the front, put some big efforts in. Last 3 kilometers were super fast and a lot of guys were trying to take off from that group to not be in that big sprint finish. There was one group in front of us and then I saw the sign like 150 meters. I'm like, what? The finish is right here. So I just started pulling full gas, but well, with whatever I had left. Over 4 hours today, really cold, really hard race. Of course the camera died before the finish, but here's the footage that I got.
Alright, race footage. As always, the track layout on the top right. In the bottom you'll see the power. On the left bottom, speed, heart rate, the distance of the race, RPMs are in there. And then at the top you'll see the time that we're racing. This is the neutralized start. So there's a car and a motorcycle in front. Nobody's allowed to pass. Everybody needs to stay behind, and they're riding 30 kilometers an hour, which is very slow. So the pack is close together, like you see right here. It was a super nervous bunch. Guys were accelerating and braking the whole time. Everybody wants to be in the front. Like right here, you can see guys crashing. We didn't even start the race and there's already crashes. There were like 2 or 3 crashes in the neutralized start. So pretty crazy. First race of the year. Everybody wants to be for a good position to start off with. So right here is already a gap, but it's still neutralized, so there's no worries. Everything comes together, and I think right here we're getting close to the actual start of the race. Taking some roundabouts straight over the middle. Boom! Another big break. Somebody goes on the brakes and everybody slams on it. Here we're loose, definitely loose. 15 minutes into the start, and you can already see this one long line. We've got the wind from the left, so everybody wants to keep to the right of the road to stay out of the wind, to be in the drag of the guy in front of him. So it's gonna be a big line. And what you see here in the front is more guys that are forming an echelon. So that's actually where you want to be. If you end up all the way in the back, you're just gonna be pushing as hard as the guy is in the echelon in the front. So you're gonna get dropped sooner or later. So it's pretty much is very important to stay up there in the front. And right now what we are doing is we're already creating the next echelon. So there's a whole line of riders here on a little bit in front of me on the right of the road. Everybody's trailing behind each other, but we are working together, and at least you have some time to stay behind somebody else, and then you have to pull a little bit in the front. If you see how much power I'm pushing out when I'm actually pulling in the front, it's gonna be the same for me as when I stay in this position right here, because there's nobody on the left to cover for the air, to cover for the wind. So it looks like I'm riding behind somebody, but in terms of aerodynamics, in terms of drag, I'm doing everything by myself. So right here you can see some other guys here in the top left forming another group just to ride up there to the front of the race, because if you stay behind, everything is on the side, you're gonna get dropped. Alright, a little bit further in the race, we're still in the beginning of the race. Very small, narrow streets here. And this was more like a headwind, so it was a little bit better, but we already had a big gap to the front group, which you can see all the way in the front right there. So these echelons form, and then it just breaks up into pieces, and I got stuck in like the second or the third group, so we had to push very hard right here to close that gap and to get back up to that front group, because if you don't do that, you're gonna get pulled out of the race, because if the gap gets too big, all the follow cars will pass you, and then at some point you're just gonna be taken out of the race. So it's a matter of working hard all the time to keep up there, keep close to the front group or in the front group, and that's what everybody wants to do. So right here everybody's still fresh. We're only 20 minutes into the race, so everybody can pull, and everybody wants to work. Pretty narrow streets. You can see the lead group here there in the front, and right now we're just working together in an echelon. Everybody's taking a pull. We rotate like this in this echelon, just long enough till we get up to that big first group. And as you can see, they're all riding together, so if you get behind them, it's really nice. You're out of the wind, you can drag behind the group, which makes a hell of a difference. But right now it looks like we're close, but we're not there yet. It's only 30 meters, but if you don't close the gap, you're just gonna get dropped, because we're into the headwind right now, so it's very hard to ride up there in the front. You can see my heart rate, 187. I'm working hard right now, just working hard to get back to that group, and we're only in the beginning of the race. Right here we managed to close the gap, and when you get to the group, it almost looks like they're not going that fast, but to get there just takes a lot of power, a big effort. So now we're all together. The group is very wide because we're going straight into the wind, and everybody is trying to move up to the front. Whoa, somebody slammed on the brakes. It was really a matter of getting and keeping concentration. 40 kilometers into the race, 1 hour and 10 minutes. And again, the group split up. So every time there's a big crosswind, the group is gonna split up, and you need to try to keep there, right there in the front. So here we are again, creating an echelon with a group, chasing that front group. Somehow a gap existed, and now we need to close it again. Speeds are pretty high. Right here we have a little bit of tailwind from the side, 52 kilometers an hour to get close. And this was a little hill. I can't really call it a climb, but I think that was the biggest hill sort of the whole race. There's no really light riders in this race because it's a very hard flat race, but still it was pretty hard just getting up top of this into the wind. And we managed to ride back into that front group, and that's what you see right here. So this was like the second or third time we had to close a big gap. Here we are in the peloton again, and every time we were in the peloton in either a head or a tailwind, it got very nervous. Everybody wants to stay in the front because you just know that it's a silence before the storm. It was a moment of recovery, just to get your heart rate down a little bit, catch your breath, and then get ready for the next big crosswind part with crazy echelons. Right here again, everybody's on the left of the road. I took the other side of the roundabout, figured it was pretty quick, and actually it was quick, so I managed to get up there a little bit more and find another wheel to ride behind. Right here you see these guys all in white, they're all from the same team, so I figured just trying to stick with them, and maybe I can stay in front of this following group. The guys in white here you see from Delta Cycling, they're a continental team, and they did a big effort to try to catch up with the leading group, but we never caught them before the finish. Right here you see a buddy of me, he lives in the same city, Alex. He used to ride for the same club as I am, but now he rides for Beat Cycling. And here we catch a roundabout, and it was actually a little bit sharper than I thought, with a car at the end, so whoops, close call to the car. Had to brake a little bit more, big gap, and then we just worked hard here to catch up again with the group of guys you see there right in the front. Coming up to this dike, I knew this was going to be an important part of the race. About 130 kilometers after the start, that's all I knew, and it was very narrow, and this is where you would easily get dropped. So I worked really hard to try to stay in the front, try to be in the right place, and try to work as sort of a team with the rest or against the rest. I don't know what I was doing. I was just trying to stay up there with the rest and not get dropped. That was my goal of today. Don't get dropped in this race. And so far, 150 kilometers or 140 kilometers into the race, I'm still there, so I'm doing pretty good so far. And this is a little bit further up the race. Everybody was starting to get tired. Speed was going down a little bit. A lot of these guys were following teammates that were up in the front of the race, so they didn't want to pull. So there was only like 4 or 5 riders of this whole group that actually wanted to do any work. We're skipping to the end of the race right here. I wanted to film the last 3 kilometers, but my camera battery was dead, so I couldn't really film the whole thing. So the camera shut down before the finish, but I managed to turn it on again for the finish. So I do have the finish. Right here, we're somewhere 1 kilometer before the finish, and everybody starts to get very nervous. Guys were sprinting away from this group, and I saw a sign with 500 meters to go, and then before I knew it, I saw a sign with 150 meters to go, and that was right here, and I just went all out. 150 meters was not a lot, and I tried to sprint as hard as I could, but right here I found out there was not a lot of my sprint left, but still I managed to overtake a couple riders and finish the race, and actually finish in a pretty good position, top 20. So we're gonna have another look at the last section of the race, but then from the television broadcast. So here we go. This was live on EUROSPORT. Right here you see a group of about 6 riders in front of us. They're sprinting still for 10th place, and I'm in the group behind it. So right here they cross the finish, and then we are gonna sprint for place 15. Full gas right here. I'm in the red jersey and still passing a couple guys on the finish. That's it. A sprint after 180 kilometers after 4.5 hours. That was really, really hard.
Okay, had some food. I took a cold shower. There was no warm water. Doei! Team car. So I took a cold shower and I'm feeling a little bit better now. I finished the race. I'm happy. I just looked at the results. I got 18th place. 18th place is pretty good. My first ever Pro Elite road race on a very difficult course, very hard conditions, super cold, freezing cold. 7 Pro Continental teams battling in the front, and I got 18th place, so I'm happy. I still feel cold. Right now it's 5:30. I'm tired. Guys, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell notification so you get an update when I post a new video. And tomorrow I'm going to Bike Motion, which is the biggest bicycle event in the Benelux, in Belgium, Luxembourg and Netherlands. All the brands are going to be there, all the new bikes, all the super tech, everything is going to be shown off at Bike Motion. So make sure you see the next video as well. I'm going to see you next time. See ya! Guys, if you like this video, oh.